Hey everyone, have I here bring a video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, we are doing another edition of Best Teams on Global. This is the February 2024 edition. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and dive right in. And really, hopefully you see by the time of this video is going to be more of an abbreviated version. If you want to go more in depth about best teams, you probably have to go back to December of this video to get a lot more detail. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive in. But before we go into that, the term best teams is my opinion and is purely subjective. There's no official tier list or best teams ranking from Cosplay Bandai. This is how I develop my teams. I look at a multitude of different things: leader skill, damage, defense, special skills, flex, bench strength, game mode effectiveness, overall gameplay. When you look at game mode effectiveness, it's still merge Zamasu as the top of the ultimate red zone. Then you have like Omega Shenron, and then some of these other fights down here when it comes to the red zones. But of course you have Extreme Super Battle Road, then you have some other events there. So just kind of keep that in mind. I look at the overall aspects of the team, not just red zone here, which of course it is still the most important part of endgame, right? So let's look at what happened last month in January. Not much happened from December. And really, to be honest with you, not much is going to be happening in this month either. I did move some spots when it comes to the bottom portion, but when it comes up to like the top 5, top 6, there's really not much movement, right? So just be fair warned when I go through all these teams. And for those who might be interested, well, didn't we get a new Dokkan Festival exclusive? Actually, we got 2 Dokkan Festival exclusive units this month here, but tournament participants is just not a top 10 team at this point in time. So look out for them during the 9-year anniversary, because that ultimately changes a lot of different things based on a lot of units that are going to be on this team down the road, again after the 9-year anniversary. Now I do want to do a honorable mention when it comes to movie heroes. This is another team right now. It's like on the cusp, on the edge of a top 10 team, but you know that we're going to get a new leader and some really good units when it comes to Super Saiyan 3 Goku. And again, 9-year anniversary, movie heroes also gets an incredible boost, of course, with Beast Gohan. So keep that in mind. These two here, or this unit here, doesn't make the top 10. Movie heroes is right there. So let's go ahead and go down to the global first Rosé, right? I would say a lot of people give this unit a lot of grief. He doesn't run, he's still on the cusp. He's like top 15 team. You know, the majority of his team is going to be Zamasu. You could run like a Universe 6 team or Ribrianne with Universe 6, things of that nature. It's not very efficient, but overall, again, this can do a lot of content. It's just not very efficient, doesn't have a good support unit, and again, it's an honorable mention. It's formulated here, but does not crack the top 10. Now, one of the things I am going to discuss here into the top 10, transitioning into top 10, is the movement of one team from the, the 8th spot to the 10th spot, and then also adding another 10th spot here, because a lot of you guys criticize and you guys made valid points, right? Super Dragon Ball Heroes is one of these teams that is very limited. I think the world of AGL, Limit Breaker, Vegito, Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, but the remaining units on there are, you know, I would say less than to be desired, right? They're good, but they're not like OP top tier. And even though I've gotten lucky on some of the fights here, I did run these on, again, another kind of a rotation round. Like, hey, play this team again. It's just not as consistent. And you guys are, you know, the ones that brought it up, you know, it isn't as consistent as I thought it was actually. But I'm still going to keep it in the top 10. I still think it's an incredible team to run, even though it's very limited. But I am going to call this 10B, whereas then I'm going to move up a team where some of you guys are like, no, this is way more consistent than Super Dragon Ball Heroes or maybe some other teams, and that is the GT Heroes Full Power with LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku, right? Now, one of the reasons why I had this team and especially this unit here kind of lower in the honorable mentions was the issue of, you know, Super Saiyan 4 Goku kind of locked in the first position. But some of you guys, you know, mentioned to me that, hey, you know what, LRGG was the same way and you still had that unit and that team really high on the list. And you guys say, hey, you made some valid points there. So you can run LR Piccolo on this team here, but you do have to run a Bond Parent Child unit, of course. But even if you run this team here and you took out, Bola as a support and run someone else here, it's going to be a very effective, very strong team, right? So, so again, you guys made some good points, and I said, all right, you know what? I'll put them in the top 10 right here, 10A, 10B here, and I think it's fair to do that. I think next month is going to be a complete change because we're going to have Saiyan Day, and I'm going to kind of probably rework a lot of these top teams here. But of course, 9-year anniversary will change mostly everything. So coming in at number 10A, Super Saiyan 4 Full Power Goku with GT Heroes in full power, and then the Dragon Ball Heroes with LR Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Vegito is the 10B. All right. So moving up in the spots is the Super Saiyans team. I think the Super Saiyans team is still continuing to grow on me. Very strong team. Defensively, maybe not as strong as some other teams that we're going to talk about here, but offensively, very powerful. Running Super Saiyan category did get a slight, I'd say it's another character upgrade here in the EZA Kefla. So you can run her on this team, not particularly this one, but if you kind of reform some other aspects, if you need to run her on a team or need her to have some type advantage or something like that, it can run there. So I think overall Super Saiyan team is very solid, and I think it deserves that number 9 spot. Let's go ahead and move on to the number 8 spot. I think the most underrated team on my list here. People still think, oh, why you have Bonham and Master Disciple on here again. It has a lot of units you can run. You can run just different rotations, but the top rotations that you're running here, it's very strong. Yes, the Gohan, you are going to run him as a floater, but he is a spot where you can get caught, but everywhere else you're going to be very solid on. So coming at number 8, Bonham Master Disciple, Z Gohan. Again, I think it's a very underrated team, but there is a big jump from these teams that I'm talking about here, right? These 10, 10A, 10B, number 9, number 8, to then number 7. I think number 7 and above, they're very close to together. And then coming in number 7 is the Realm of Gods Worldwide Chaos Fused Fighters with the Worldwide Celebration Murzumasu. This team is incredibly strong because, of course, having these 2 Murzumasus here and being able to run this domain and affecting everyone, it's very powerful. You do have the new Rosé on this team as well as an option if you don't want to run or don't have EZA LR Rosé. You can kind of interchange those things out. But again, having that 150% for extreme class and making this very flexible team, even though you don't have the top tier units on it, you can make this team run by having that. Again, the biggest issue, extreme class units is not very beneficial, compared to super class, because there's not that many great extreme class units you can run on 150, right? So it makes sense to have this team here in the number 7 spot, because I think everyone else from 6 on up is better, but this team is the best at this moment in time on global, the extreme class team that you can run. So coming in at number 6, I think some people would rather move this a lot higher. I just think right now it's still fairly limited to generally these units that you're seeing here, right? So the Godku, Pure Saiyans, and Hybrid Saiyans, again, very good leader skill, just kind of misses a couple spots here that could, primarily move them a little bit higher. So that's mentioning, hey, you know what, having a better support unit, things of that nature could impact this team a lot more. You're running the do I have here, wait a minute, Power Rush, Exploding Rage. Is this a down arrow? Did I mess up the down arrow here? I should have the down arrow here. So you are running a lot of the top tier units as 170%, so that is a little bit of a minus. So just kind of keep that in mind. Why they're in the number 6 spot is because they're not running everybody at 200%. If they were, I would say they'll be a little bit higher. But the problem is trying to crack into the top 5 is extremely difficult, because we have on the top 5 spot is Superheroes Battle Wits with the LROP, right? LROP, a lot of people say he's the number 1 unit in the game, things of that nature. I think his passive, you can argue on that because of his transformation, but I think ultimately the team that he builds here is a great team. But you know, I wish there was a little bit more diversity. Now again, superheroes is going to get a massive boost in the 9-year anniversary with Beast Gohan, but as of right now, I think in the number 5 spot is a true spot for them. You can have, you know, you can run a lot of, you know, different support classes on here, but I think just overall, great team here. Damage output is not as strong as some of these other teams, but defensively is just ridiculous, right? So I shouldn't say damage output is not as good. It's still good. It's just, you know, I don't know. Some of these other teams can really cook, right? So, and then of course this is merged with the Superheroes Hybrid Saiyans, but I think ultimately, yeah, top 5. You can't argue top 5. Could you move them a little bit higher? Sure. But I do just have them here based off of, again, a multitude of different things. So coming in number 4 is Earthbred Fighters, one of the best categories in the game on global at this point in time. As you can see, you can run some major units at 200%. You have Bulma. So again, I would think probably one of the biggest things here is this would be in the 5th or 4th spot if Earthbred Fighters couldn't run Bulma, right? Bulma is one of those units that makes this team run more like, you know, over 200% than just 200%, you know, having her passive skill here. So, so again, just kind of keep that in mind. It's not that, you know, World Tournament Goku is better than Piccolo. It's just that, you know, the overall team aspect of the unit is very strong. So coming in number 4, Earthbred Fighters. I think they still keep that spot here. And you can see there's a trend. Everything else is staying the same. Nothing else is really making the move here. Number 3 is going to be Battle of Fate Future Saga Power Beyond Super Saiyan. This might merge pretty soon with the number 2 spot, and that is with the Future Saga Gohan and the Bond and Parent Child and Future Saga LRGG, right? All 3 of these are Future Saga. You might argue that this is going to be running more units that are going to be Power Beyond Super Saiyan and Battle of Fate. Yeah, kind of, but ultimately I think all 3 of these are very similar in some of the units that you're able to run. The biggest difference here is you can run Bulma on this team, right? Bulma, again, even though you're only running her at 150, can really boost everybody else on the team. So the leader skill and the flexibility for the Vegeta Blue is tremendous, and that's the why they're in the number 3 spot. Even though if you look at the team here, it runs a lot at 170, right? So then you have the number 2 in Future Gohan. Very limited when it comes to, like, if you're missing a few spots here and you don't have the right unit, so the flexibility, it's not as strong, being a 1 category Future Saga. But Future Saga right now on global is very strong, so I did keep them here at the number 2 spot. But again, I might be merging all 3 of these together because this, again, is just very similar, especially Bond and Parent Child. You know, LRGG is losing its luster a little bit. Still a very good unit, and Bond and Parent Child is still a very good category. But as you can see here, majority of the team that you're running are Future Saga. There's only a couple here that you can easily replace. That is Bond and Parent Child, right? So, and so just kind of keep that in mind. I think this is a strong number 2 spot when you merge it with Future Saga. But if you merge it with all 3, now you got something cooking when it comes to the best team on the in the game, right? But the reigning number 1 spot, no doubt about it, is Power of Wishes Battle of Fate, Spirit Bomb GT. I still think the world of this unit from last year in 2023. Of course, 2024 is going to change, but like everything's Power of Wishes, right? Like Ella Ribrianne, you're not going to run it on this team. I just put her on here just because, hey, you could run her on here if you wanted to. She's not going to run very well, but still, ultimately, you have just a tremendous amount of options you can run, right? So. This team here, you can run this style, you can run extreme class if you wanted to. Just the diversity for Power Wishes is tremendous. It seems like almost every other unit that comes out is on the Power Wishes team, right? So just more and more units get added on. So coming number 1 still is Power of Wishes. This might change during Saiyan Day, right? So the reign of Power Wishes could change during the middle of March, especially if they either create an incredible category that's going to build a team. But again, it's Bulma's on this. You got just damage mitigation, attack damage, LROP, Vegeta Blue. You got everybody on this team. So, of course, that does merge with the Super Saiyan 3 Spirit Bomb Z unit as well, with Power Wish as a final trump card versus Power Wish in Battle of Fate. But ultimately, here is the top 10. You got A and B, with A coming as Super Saiyan 4 Goku, with the AGL Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4. I guess both of them Super Saiyan 4, right? I just noticed that. Super Saiyan 4s as A and B there. Then you have the Super Saiyans in the Carnival LR Super Saiyans. Then you have Bond Parent Child. Then you have Urzumasu. That team is still, again, the best Extreme Class team currently right now in the game for Global. And you have Godku. Then you have the top 5. It's, unless I'm going to merge 2 and 3 next video and just put Future Saga as the number 2, possibly even the number 1 in the game, I don't really see a lot of movement when it comes to the top 5. And I might just do that just to have more teams be featured, right? So if you want to see me do that, then comment in the comment section below. Yes, merge number 2, which is 2 teams already, and number 3, put it together, say, hey, Future Saga is the second best team or the best team in the game. I can probably live with that. That opens up, a spot to then kind of rearrange things. So anyway, that's the video here. Again, pretty short here, and it's under 20 minutes. So when it's under 20 minutes, you know that I went through it pretty quickly. And if you agree, disagree, let me know in the comment section below. If you are new to my channel, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Thank you all for watching. Keep on Dokkaning, and we will catch you next time. Later.